you're looking for positivity or looking for encouragement, Temia Brinson aims to educate you, to give you the push to believe, to have the mindset for success, mindset for success, to have the mindset for success, to have the mindset for success.
Okay, so let's get right into the second segment. So in this segment, let's talk about how can we get our community to have a mindset for success. This is what this show about. Not only are we bringing to you issues that matter to us, but we want to go to the positive level. We want to have a mindset for success. So how do we get there? Um, Alyssa, let me start with you. As a country, how can we have a successful immigration policy to where we treat people in a humane and dignified way?
Well, first of all, I think it starts at just the community, us as individuals contacting our political affiliates, our commissioners, and letting them know that we're upset about the treatment and that what are some suggestions that we have, and we can go get those suggestions by having by getting together and having community meetings just in our own neighborhoods. I mean, it's really simple. You just ask your neighbors. Everybody sees what's going on, and as long as we don't see it, then it's like out of sight, out of mind. But now it's time for us to get together and start coming up with some things that we always depend on the politicians to come up with the decisions. I know they're the ones that kind of signed up for that job, but as a people in a community, we need to also put some input. What are some suggestions, versus us just always criticizing what someone else is doing? That's the easy part, to criticize. But what do we think that what ways can we come up with that they can also help?
All right, Thomas. What say you? What about our treatment? How can we improve migrants? How can we improve the treatment of them? And so there can, be a dignified manner and treat them in a dignified and respectful way.
As far as the migrants are concerned, I just really believe that there has to be some form of. I believe you said something that was very important earlier when you said that we needed to have those an actual uniform system and a process that's put in place. I think with that, we have to have pre-training, and I believe that it's very important that individuals that are going to be interacting with these individuals, they should have the same type of mental evaluations and background evaluations as individuals that work in that's supposed to work in law enforcement and the COs and everything that deals with individuals from different backgrounds, so that they're able to handle. Are they really able to have the capacity to handle people in a humane manner and treat people, no matter what the situation turns into, keep their composure and handle things in a responsible and professional manner?
Okay, wonderful. Great answers, you guys. And again, I hope people from immigration office is listening. I hope this gets to them. By Lord, Holy Spirit, let this find its way to them. People who can make decisions, because we're getting some good solutions here today. So let's move on. Um, Let me put a disclaimer here. This is not anything, the show is not anything about race. However, there are some things that do need to be addressed. Okay, so this is addressed to both of you, Thomas and Alyssa, and you guys can chime in one after another. Why do non-white immigrants, meaning minorities or migrants, get treated differently than other ethnicities? Because um, you know, we don't see large crowds of, people from European countries and, Asians and everywhere else. We don't see a problem with that. Why is it such a problem with non-white migrants, and why are they treated differently?
I believe we lost Alyssa again. But I want to say that I really think that I think what we get a chance and an opportunity to see and what's shared the most is the migrants or immigrants, those individuals who are trying to cross the border. These individuals are coming from locations that are predominantly of people of color, whether it's Hispanic or the Haitian communities and individuals that's traveling over. So we get an opportunity to see that more than anything else. I don't think I've ever got an opportunity to see other ethnicities like Italian or European individuals that are traveling in. I don't get a chance to see really the activity of that, but I believe most of that happens throughout our airport system, where they actually have patrol there that has a process of taking them through a process actually to get into the country or turn them around and send them back. But I think a lot of stuff is really highlighted coming from the border. And Alyssa, I don't know, did we lose our host?
Okay, Alyssa, yeah, jump right in, Alyssa.
I said they just don't want this to happen today.
No, it's all good. So what do you think, Alyssa? Why do we treat why is there non-white migrants treated differently in the immigration office?
Yeah, I've always asked myself that same question. A big, just like Thomas was saying, is that they're coming over in planes, and so they're coming through our airport system, and versus the other the immigrants are coming through the borders with, not only were our immigrants, our Haitian immigrants coming, they ended up in Mexico and had to be treated unfairly, but they also, when they got to the USA, they shut down the borders. And this has been going on for 2 years. So I don't want this to seem, just because we're just now seeing it on TV, that this is something that is just now happening. The influence there has August, there is political officials were this going on. They knew about this happening, and it seems like, whether it's 5,000 or 10,000, you knew that these people were coming, and there was no process there. You started to get additional staff to come in, and just like you said, you're using what you have at the moment. Whips are not what you have. These people are not violent towards you. So, the whips were unnecessary. They were, as we see, they have children in their hand. They have, the clothes on their backs and very minimal possessions in their hand. These people were not violent. That would have been displayed if they were. So why are they treated like criminals? And this not being processed? I know that we're not, even if we're turning around at the airport, non-Black immigrants, or we detain them differently. We're not detaining them under, inhumane conditions, and that's just not acceptable until we stand up as people, as Black people, and just saying, okay, well, they came from Haiti. Yes, they are still Black people that are treated inhumanely, and it's not right. So we have to definitely, make it known, just like we said, Black lives matter. Yes, they do matter, and you're going to not continue to treat our people this way. They sent them back over without even giving them a chance to apply for the refugee status.
Exactly.
So they're sending them back to conditions that they could be killed in. And so we always want to jump into other states, nation's business and help them. And I understand America is struggling. We have people here that are struggling, that are going through things, but they are, not being chased with and put into, inhumane conditions like these people are. So that's the biggest thing. We understand they are not here legally, but the way you treat them, we have to show, we have to be human. We have to show that these people are human also, regardless of their status.
All right. And also, not only is there a difference in the ethnicity and race, like I said, this is not, political show, and we're not really getting a race, but it does, some things do need to be addressed. And actually, I think it also has to do with money. Money plays a factor too. These are from poor countries, whereas people coming from other countries get treated differently. So that's an issue too. But what does it say? What does this recent incident say about our country? Because if minorities, now this is real talk now, if minorities in this country aren't treated with dignity and respect in our own country, what makes you think that they're going to be treated respectfully at the border? So that's kind of something, not saying that it's the minority community inside of the U.S. I'm not saying that it is our problem as well, as far as, it's our fault, but it plays into how we're treated here and the perception. Thomas, can you talk about that?
I think ultimately, the bottom line of this is that African Americans and minorities have some of the most incredible influence in the entire world. We make an extreme amount of money, and the world makes an extreme amount of money from us. And I believe that the biggest issue that we have, really, truly, if we're going to be realistic about it, is that we have not yet set up a system that actually has a process, a streamlined process to get more individuals in the seats that matter when it comes to making decisions, when it comes to making choices, passing laws. We promote more. I'm sorry, there's a plane passing over a helicopter. I'm sorry, but we promote more to do with individuals becoming entertainers in any form of fashion or famous in any form of fashion, but we don't promote enough and establish enough of our young individuals with the financial backing to get them in position where they need to be. And if we had more people at the table who actually helps to enforce the laws and change laws, then we would see a better outcome of how us as minorities are treated inside of the U.S. I mean, we get rich and spend our money within the systems that held us down. And that is something that we have to get out of in order to create something different. If we're looking for another ethnicity to care about us more than we care about ourselves, then we have a tremendous issue on the ground already. And we're fighting a battle really we'll never win that battle. That's the bottom line, because we're expendable. We're really able. They don't need us, so to speak. Once the money runs out, your importance is gone also. And if you don't have money, then you never were important. So if we care enough, we have to develop that within our own culture to create those individuals that will go to the table and say, I'm coming in and I'm going to stick to what I came here for, which is to fight for a better outcome for minorities.
Okay, Alyssa, jump right in. What do you think?
I totally agree. I feel like he just touched on, it's major. When we do have money, we spend it in frivolous ways. And Black people as a community, we do not support each other in the right ways. When we're running for political office, when we are creating nonprofits, I know plenty of nonprofits that are focused on the Haitian community. We are not supporting, only their community ends up supporting, which is Haitian Black Americans. We all, and then we try to separate ourselves. We're already divided, but we're like, okay, no, those are Haitians and we're Black Americans and these are Jamaican Black. We are all Black and we are all, when non-minorities, or non-Black people look at us, they are looking at us all the same. They're not saying those Haitians or those Jamaicans. They're saying those Black people. And until we stand together and support each other, the difference in us, we all came from the same continent, Africa. We got dropped off in different locations. That's it. Same people. So we need to stop separating ourselves and don't think that we're not a step away from being treated the same way these, immigrants were treated. And it reminded me about something I saw in the 60s, in the marches, when we were supposed to be free, but we were treated that way. That's what it reminds me. And is when we say it's acceptable in this way and we justify it with, oh, they're illegal, so that's a criminal offense. They deserve to be treated that way. Then we're opening that door for them to continue treating us that way, is what I'm believing.
Right. I want to jump in on that because, I just want to add to that. I have friends, they're some Caucasian friends of mine that they actually have huge corporations in Haiti. And they go to Haiti all the time and they build farms in Haiti and different things of that nature in order to help redevelop the court. Now, these are not entertainers. These guys are just community people that feel moved by God that they were supposed to go out and help that country, right? So I think about that. Then I think about, like, we have so many millionaires and so many Black billionaires that why are we not using any of those resources to go and build and help establish those areas? I mean, I know sometimes it makes it seem as if though, I understand when you come from one place and you finally get money, you kind of just want to wet your feet on the good life, and you want to go and buy the expensive things, a big house and all that stuff, and kind of just want to say, okay, I'm finally here. But I understand a biblical principle that I've always seen in reference when it comes to scripture, and I hate to throw that on y'all because I'm a pastor, so I live by it and I try to teach by it. And it is that when we are blessed, we're blessed to be able to bless other people. And if we don't look back and do something for the people that we're leaving behind and fight economically, then I believe that we've lost touch with the reason why we were blessed in the first place. And I think that's something that we have to do, is be involved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, is it bless me so I can bless more people? Is it bless me, Lord, if I can get more cars, watches, bigger houses, pay for $50,000 Rolex watches? Like, that's ridiculous. I mean, I'm not saying you're not supposed to shine, but me as a little person, I get joy and I continue to ask God to bless me so I can continue to hire. I want to be able to hire, take in people that are out of work. I went to the homeless shelter the other day with felons. We were hiring for my janitorial company, giving them an opportunity, because even here, once, you've done your time, you still are being punished.
Right.
And so just the everyday, the things we're doing. So I'm like, oh, please multiply mine so I can give. I had a friend that went over, drove in his car and gave $3,000 of his own dollars. He's not wealthy. He's just a regular entrepreneur that gave whatever he could get. He had family over there, but it was not just his family that he put that money toward. He put it toward all his people. And that's the reason why they're able to be more successful, How do you come from a poor country? You come to America and all your children get college degrees. They have businesses and they are, more wealthy. Their households are wealthier than Black Americans. That's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem. We don't take advantage of what is right here.
And you really start to see the reality of it all when you notice that the country gives other ethnicities money to move to America. Now watch, you have to realize something. The immigration laws are built primarily to help build the economy of the USA. That's why those laws are in place. They really want so for a poor population to come is not a benefit for the US. For a population to come that actually can add income and work to the U.S. is what they're going to support and push through the fastest. So when we look at that, they give them money to come in and start their business and start the company because they know that they're going to come in and that's what they're going to do. So then I had a friend and she was Korean, and her family and the other Koreans, they have an actual circuit of Koreans. And they receive money to come, and once they get here, what they do, they put their money not in the U.S. banks. They put their money in what they call a pool, and that pool is handled by the community of the Koreans. And then those Koreans give a loan out of the pool to the other families and to the other families' children to help them start their first business. When they start their first business, they pay back that into the pool plus some interest, which then gives them the ability to give more money to another Korean family to help establish it. So we see that within their community, they're building an infrastructure. They're building a dependency on each other rather than the government. So we don't have that type of structure within the African American communities, or when it comes to brown people, Black and brown people, we really don't have that type of structure put into place. We really won't trust each other enough to put money into a pot and pass it on. It's something to deal with our mental state. I believe that happened so long ago through when you said that earlier about how you have the felons who once they were felons, now they get out and they can't get a job, even after they've done their time. That was a systematic approach that was set up to destroy not only the family structure, but the economic structure within the African American community. And as long as we allow that to continue, we have to take the handcuffs of America off of our people and stop the dependency on this country and really figure out how to work together as a whole to establish that type of economic structure within our community and that type of an economic structure so that our children can be raised up not depending on the government for a loan, but our own banks, our own system for a loan that we've created within this structure.
Right. So, Thomas, so what you're saying basically is in a way to change the perception or the country's perception of minorities is to basically not only do we need to demand things happen and go to our, political officials, but we need to demand it with ourselves and with each other.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm hearing. So hopefully you guys, this will help and reach people throughout the nation so that we can come up and we can change the perception in this country. Then hopefully that mindset will transfer to our immigration and how they treat minorities as they come in.
Yeah.
So right now, I want to wrap this up and give you guys each time to say a little something, whatever projects you're working on or whatever you want to announce, you can go ahead. Melissa, let's start with you.
Okay, well, just, a little bit about my business consulting business. I work virtually throughout the United States, so I'm not limited. Thank God for COVID in that way. People opened their mind to being able to receive services. And so I expanded my business nationwide to help businesses start, to do their business planning, and to also grow small businesses to help them get funding. With my janitorial service, we were hiring locally in the Orlando area, and I've been blessed to get contracts through city, the county, state of Florida as a Black minority. And so also taking advantage, which my consulting company provides minority certification. We need to take advantage of things they put in place. We're complaining, but then they're calling me because I'm the only janitorial service that is certified in the city of Orlando and Orange County. So they're handing me contracts because in order for them to get the contracts, the bigger construction companies, the larger companies, they have to give 25% of the job to a minority. Well, what are we doing to make our business legal? Not only are we starting businesses, but what are we taking advantage of? There are minority certifications. They're with the public schools, the counties. So business owners take advantage of what they're doing and the money they're giving out. Also, the SBA is giving out money. You know, I'm helping people apply for that also. So yes, I'll put my information in the chat, and if you want to have a free consultation on how you can grow your business and take advantage of things that they put in place for business owners, I'm your person.
Wow, wonderful. Glad to hear it. I feel so good when I hear, especially minority entrepreneurs and what they're doing. It just does something to me. Okay, Thomas.
Well, currently, right now, we're basically, I am really pinpointing the ministry that we're doing right now, and trying to really get set up to really start to hire within the community and start having some different types of job opportunities for individuals that are felons inside of that late community. That's one of the main ventures that I'm really pushing towards right now, in building that ministry and having it to be more of a hub, not just for church service, but more for help and actually to help rebuild. Outside of that, my primary other things that I handle mainly within the entertainment, of the gospel industry. So right now, I'm just going to tell you guys, just keep a lookout. We got a couple of things that are coming out within the next month that will be on radio, as well as some nice speeches that we have coming up as well. For the top of the year, God's really been blessing us with that ministry and the music ministry as well. So we're just really looking forward to that. And if you guys are in the area in November, we have a 2-night event there in the Claremont area at the City Center, where there's going to be some special gospel artists, guests that are coming down and speakers, and it's going to be a great 2-day event there at the location at the City Center. That's on the 13th and the 14th of November. So we look forward to seeing you guys if you get a chance to come in that area.
Wonderful, wonderful. So this is what I'm talking about. I love it. I love it. And again, this show is called Mindset for Success. So I love putting people up who are doing something. And then guess what? Like-minded people gravitate to like-minded people. So when people see you guys, then they will get, the energy. They will get the faith to grow also. So I thank you guys for coming on. And again, you guys be blessed in your endeavors. And for the audience, you guys be sure to tune in next week. We're going to do this every Saturday at 10 a.m. And then we're also rebroadcasting it. It's going to re-air on Kingdom Purpose TV. And you can pull it up on Roku or Apple TV or Fire Stick if you have it. And that's on Monday nights at 9 p.m. Okay, so you guys be blessed.
All right, Temia.
For